Shalum. Shalum, O Yashar'al. Those who are set apart, those who are pursuing set apartness, mainly those who seek to do the will of the Almighty Father Yahuah. Welcome to the 43rd installment of the Inward Man. My name is Symmanayah, if you're tuning in for the first time, and these are a reflection of the words that stirred what's inside of me. This is a special message, O Yasharal, and I've entitled it, If and Only If I Am a Servant of Yahusha Mashyach. If and only if I am a servant of Yahusha Mashyach. And I say that for these purposes, O Yasharal. If I am indeed a servant and it is the Spirit of Yahusha that work within inside of me, then I believe that the things that I present will prove to have life and will prove to show evidence that the Spirit of the Almighty Father Yahuah, as it is written in the scriptures, will prove to be working within inside of me, inside of you, inside of set apart Yasharal. You may see the circle or the picture on this recording that say Yashar'al's destination, set apart mountain. And I believe that is the mountain that is currently known as Jabal al-Lawz, which is the true set apart mountain of Yahuah, known as Mount Sinai. I further believe, as I have stated before, that the ring of fire will prove to begin to be the markers of a scroll, meaning that it will roll up and begin to force migrations towards the promised land. For the set apart ones, our destination will be the promised land, the set apart mountain of Yahuah. For the wicked, somewhere within that region, we know the wicked will gather. For the scriptures mention in Revelations how they gathered in the valley of Megiddo before marching against the children of Yahuah. My brothers and sisters, I believe without a doubt that the Spirit of Yahushua have revealed to me that the 144,000 in great multitude mentioned in Revelation 7 chapter will emerge. It will prove to be a process. My brothers, my sisters, if we sincerely say that we believe a thing, let us live what we believe. Let us govern ourselves accordingly, as we believe we are directed to, according to the words of the Most High Father, as they are made alive. Man has tampered with the text, and we know that. The strength of the text alone has weakened over the years. We have seen many versions of scriptures pop up, many versions of the Bible or the scriptures pop up with things added, things omitted, things disregarded. But man cannot tamper with the power and might of the Almighty Father Yahuah. And he has promised discipline and refinement to his children. He has promised to lead us into set apartness beyond one's expectations and imagination. There are promises that the Most High made, and he will indeed be successful in fulfilling all that he has promised. From the discipline and love that he has for his children, to vengeance and wrath to the wicked. If and only if I am a servant of Yahusha Mashiach, these words will prove to be alive and stir within you, creating the desire to grow close to Abba Yahuah. Let me say this, O Yasharal, history can be counted. In other words, we can count the years, whether 100, 200, 300, 400, or 500. History can be counted, and there's a lot of time, and everyone has a story, and everyone has their rendition or their perception of what transpired yesterday or yesteryear or in history. But our future, O Yasharal, our future from now to eternity, including the time from now to our transformation to the time we will forever be with Yahusha Mashiach, our sovereign, or some may say king. That future is endless. And I'm including from the transformation when these bodies go back to the earth to our spirits living forever. That future is endless. So I ask you, O Yasharal, which one should we spend more time and focus on? trying to count the years, trying to decipher all the perceptions and interpretations of our history. Now, I'm not saying history is wrong, and I'm not saying we should not look back and learn. But let us have balance, O Yashar'al, for many are spending more time with our necks turned backwards, disregarding the living presence of the Spirit of the Almighty Father, disregarding what He is saying to us today, what He expects of us today and tomorrow. Everyone appears to have a story, but who among us is and can discern the living orders from our Almighty Father Yahuah? Who among us can discern the life in the scriptures as they are necessary for forging us into a strong, set-apart nation under Abba Yahuah? Time will bring answers, my brothers and sisters. Know this, Abba Yahuah knows those that are His, and He will prove those whom He has chosen to lead the structuring of an awakening nation, to bring us together as one, under one banner. Yes, the 144,000, 12,000 from each of the tribes mentioned in Revelation 7 chapter will be recognized. But ultimately it will be one banner, a banner known as Yashar'al, a banner known as the children of obedience. Pray and watch, O family of set-apart ones. There is much work to be done. Each of us, it is important for each of us to realize how sincere this journey is. Everyone has a story. Yes, we can look at history and yesterday, but let us know when to look forward, when to look up, when to discern current and living instructions by our Almighty One, Yahuah. It is written that He sent His set-apart Spirit in Yahusha's name to teach us and guide us and to free us from strongholds. Visit John 14:26. I mention it often. The times are ahead when we will witness discerning and making known those who will speak boldly, those who will demonstrate braveness, those who will be obedient to the Spirit of Yahusha. Yes, my brothers and sisters, it is time to be bold. It is time to be brave. It is time to be obedient. It is time to discern the living instructions from the Almighty Father. His Spirit sent in Yahusha's name, for no man can come unto the Father except by He who is known as Yahusha Mashyach. Let me read a bit of history, O Yasharal, a bit that I am compelled to present for this segment. A bit of history, Matthew 10:22. You shall be hated by all for my name's sake, but he who shall have endured to the end shall be saved. Matthew 10:22. Matthew 18:20. For where 2 or 3 are gathered together in my name, there I am in the midst. I have seen and witnessed people say that since 2 of us say one thing, that means Yahusha is there. That means Abba Yahuah is there. And they fail to discern the strength in these words when it said together, gather together in my name. In other words, what this means, where 2 or 3 are gathered together in my name, means that those 2 have been brought together by Yahusha Mashyach. And they acknowledge that they have been led by Yahusha Mashyach, and then therefore He is in the midst. We have so commonly taken this to think we can throw this verse around and say, well, he believed and I believe. Well, he's among us, because we both say that Yahusha did it. But if we cannot confirm and acknowledge and discern that it was His living guidance that guided us together as 2 or more, or 2 or 3, and if we think we could just use this verse to say He's here, we are sadly mistaken. But we can speak by belief, or by faith, some would say faith, if we honestly believe His Spirit have guided us together. So when 2 or more, or 2 or 3 gather together, ask each one, can you unequivocally say the Spirit of Yahusha brought you together? Can you unequivocally say that you believe it was the Spirit of Yahusha that brought us together, and it is the Spirit of Yahusha that is directing us? For if it's indeed true, He will prove that He is indeed in the midst. Matthew 24:5 say, many shall come in my name, saying, I am the Messiah, and they shall lead many astray. Just because one say the day of the Messiah, we are forewarned in scriptures to not pay attention to such. Let us also be mindful of John. That was Matthew 24:5. Now let us also be mindful, O Yashar'al, of John 14:13 and 14. He's saying, whatever you ask in my name, that I shall do it, in order that the Father might be esteemed in the Son. If you ask whatever in my name, I shall do it. There's also a scripture that says if we pray and ask according to his will. Let's see if I can find that, O Yasharal. For many people think that we have the authority to just ask anything, not knowing the will of the Almighty Father, and just throwing it out there. And he's going to answer it. And then we get disappointed when he doesn't. You see, O Yasharal, it is important that we understand all that is written. All that is said to us. And I want to find that passage when it talks about according to his will. For it is important, O Yasharal, that in our prayers we are growing to understand and discern the ways that the Most High would have us to govern ourselves. Otherwise, we will find ourselves stumbling and making mistakes. And I'm trying to find that passage. And as we know, different translations. Okay, 1 John 5:14, O Yasharal. 1 John 5:14 reads as this, and this is the boldness that we have in him, that if we ask whatever according to his desire, he hears us. According to his desire. So it's important for us to discern what the Most High desires, so that we are not asking frivolous questions or requests. Let us make our requests known as it relates to set apartness, as it relates to magnifying set apartness, as it relates to worshiping and obeying the Almighty Father. Yashar'al, a bit of history. We read these things. We read in Matthew 10, 10th chapter, verses 5 through 11. Let me read those. It says, Yahuah sent these 12 out, having commanded them, saying, do not go into the way of the Gentiles, and do not enter a city of the Shamaronites, but rather go to the lost sheep of the house of Yasharal. And as you go, proclaim, saying, the reign of the heavens have drawn near. Heal the sick, cleanse the lepers, raise the dead, cast out demons. You have received without paying, give without being paid. Do not acquire gold or silver or copper for your money belts, or a bag for your journey, or 2 undergarments or sandals or staff, for the worker is worthy of his food. And into whatever city or village you enter, ask who is worthy in it, and stay there until you leave. My brothers and sisters, I just read Matthew's 10th chapter, verses 5 through 11. Know that it starts out with the Mashyach giving his 12 taught ones a commandment to go out and speak of the reign of heavens is drawing near. And what I want to bring to your attention, whenever the Most High send you out, he empower you with the things that are necessary to let people know we are indeed sent by him. If you doubt these words, notice how he said, as they go out proclaiming the reigns of heaven, they'll have the power to heal the sick, to cleanse the lepers, to raise the dead, to cast out demons. And they're not doing it for money, nor did they receive the power by giving money, as it states in the 8th verse of the 10th chapter. And he talks about not filling your undergarment, not being packed up and using your own intelligence, thinking that I need to have a spare clothes, sandals, and staff, and I need to have food. Because he's saying here that wherever we go, if we enter in it in obedience, if we ask who is worthy within that area where we go, then indeed they will give us food. They will give us a change of clothing. And he said those who recognize those who are sent by him will receive a reward. It doesn't say that in this verse, but if you study the scripture, you'll see those who receive, those sent by him will receive a reward. That should not be hard to discern whether those words are true, O Yashar'al. And he told his taught ones here to stay in that place until it's time to leave. This was history. That was the literal. Now, my brothers and sisters, I say to you, the Most High states in Isaiah 11:12 that he shall raise a banner for the nations and gather the outcasts of Yasharal and assemble the dispersed of Yehudah from the four corners of the earth. The literal, he's talking about the nation of Yehudah. The spiritual, he's talking about the nation of Yehudah literally, and those who choose the ways of Yehudah, who cling to Yehudah, who cling to his set apart ways. And he will gather us. You will see, O Yasharal, that the great multitude will be many nations, kindreds, tribes, and tongues brought together, made one by Yahusha Mashyach. And if he is gathering us, this requires movement. This requires a journey to return to the promised land. And as we move in movement, there will be those who may be sick, who will be healed. There will be those we may face with diseases, such as leprosy, who will be cleansed. We may even witness those who have been designated to be dead being awakened. We will see demons cast out, just as we saw in Matthew's 10th chapter, verse 8, how Mashyach equipped his taught ones. We will witness things that will occur among us, things that will prove that the Most High is with us and in us. My brothers and sisters, there's much work to be done. And without belief, as it is written in Hebrews 11th chapter, 6th verse, without belief it is impossible to please him. For he who comes to the Almighty One has to believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of those who earnestly seek him. And what is this belief? It says in the first verse of the 11th chapter of Hebrews, belief is the substance of what is expected and the proof of what is not as seen. It is a difficult task, my brothers and sisters, for us to identify the things we cannot see. But know this, the Most High will be successful in doing what he says he will do. Let me continue to share some verses, for there will be a final exodus. And if and only if I am a servant of Yahusha Mashiach, the words I speak to you will stir. They will prove to have life, just as with him speaking through you to another or to me. If it is indeed we are the servants walking in obedience, filled with the Spirit of Yahusha Mashiach, then we will discern what is true, what is right, in spite of all the noise, in spite of everyone having a story to tell. Isaiah 43, verse 5 through 7. Here we see, it says, do not fear, for I am with you. I shall bring your seed from the east and gather you from the west. I shall say to the north, give them up, and to the south, do not keep them back. Bring my sons from afar and my daughters from the ends of the earth. All those who are called by my name, whom I have created, formed, even made for my esteem. You see, my brothers and sisters, not everyone, it's a false sense of security, and it's a lie for someone to tell you that all set apart children of Yahuah will be gathered from the four corners of the earth before the physical return of Yahushua Mashiach. That is not true. Those that he have made for his esteem, Isaiah 43:7. Those that will prove to have been chosen by him to fulfill such prophecy, such set apart prophecy. Those that will respond to his living orders. Let us understand that this plan belongs to the Most High. For it is written, some of us will be killed for Yahusha's sake. It is written that some of us will fall away out of unbelief. Let us know the fullness of the story, O Yasharal. If and only if I am a servant of Yahushua Mashyach, hear these words, O Yasharal. Set apart Yasharal, there is much work to be done. I mentioned often Hebrews 12th chapter and Revelation 3:19. Know this, the Father will be successful in fulfilling his promises of discipline to his children. He will bring to safety those whom he has chosen to represent the fulfillment of his promises as it relates to the final Exodus. We will see those who will be gathered, O Yasharal, before the physical return of Yahushua Mashiach. The days are coming when we will witness the fulfillment of his promises like never before seen. All prerequisites, all criteria for doing what is ordered by the Almighty Father Yahuah will be made possible. We will receive the tools and the power necessary to accomplish his orders, O Yasharal. There will be those who live and those who will face physical death. Time will reveal what is true. Let us prepare to accept, even more so, that the Most High Yahuah chooses whom he see fit for now and our future. If and only if I am a servant of Yahushua Mashiach, I proclaim in the name of Yahushua Mashiach that the ring of fire will prove to be starting points for massive earthquakes, fire, and the product of which is needed to cause forced migrations. I have stated more than once that I am compelled to believe men, women, and children would ultimately end up in the region where life began. The scriptures inform us about the beginning with Adam and Eve as it relates to the Garden of Eden and more. And we know by its description that it was within the region we commonly know as the Middle East. The scriptures also inform us in these final days, before the final march against the set-apart children of Yahuah, that there will be a massive gathering of armies in the valley of Megiddo. That's in the Middle East, the area known as the Middle East. The scriptures also inform us that the time will come when Yashar'al will return to the set-apart mountain of the Most High Yahuah, and it also lets us know that Yahushua Mashiach will set foot down on this planet in that same area. So I say to you, O Yasharal, if you look around and if you study and understand what will happen as mentioned in Revelations and other parts of the scriptures as it relates to death and destruction, when you look at it and count the numbers that are written in Revelation, it would not be hard to discover that there will be well over 1.8 billion, well over roughly 3.6 billion people will be killed during the Great Tribulation. Killed. Do not the Great Tribulation speak of destruction? Do you believe that in massive earthquakes and volcanoes and storms and famine and drought? Do you believe that in the vengeance and the wrath that the Most High have promised, that the population will be reduced? Whether we believe it or not, it will. Can we stop it? No, we cannot, O Yasharal. My brothers and sisters, if we take a marker and begin placing an X over regions in the world, place an X that show evidence of a deteriorating landmass. Place an X over areas that scientists are saying will probably be destroyed due to sea level rise or climate change or global warming. Place an X over areas that are overpopulated. Place an X over areas that they believe will become uninhabitable. If we begin to place an X and look at the scriptures, my brothers and sisters, you will see that the paths and the arrows point back to the set apart area known as the Promised Land. It has begun. If and only if I am a servant of Yahusha Mashyach, I proclaim in the name of Yahusha Mashyach that there will be forced movement. People will be left behind. Individuals will die, and there will emerge those who are left to fulfill what is written regarding Yashar'al's final exodus. And yes, there will be the wicked ones who are spared that will gather in Megiddo, that will gather for the final march against the set-apart children of Yahuah before the physical return of Yahusha Mashyach. Pray and watch. This is real, my brothers and sisters. I submit to you it has begun. But soon and very soon, things will become so intense where even the world news will announce that there seemed to be no end in sight. And soon and very soon, the numbers will be counted as we witness millions upon millions begin to move and migrate away from the ring of fire. If and only if I am a servant of Yahuah, I proclaim the 144,000 great multitude will emerge, and time will present evidence of a set-apart process dictated to those who are led by the Spirit of Yahusha. Behold, O Yasharal, we will soon witness a boldness from those chosen to lead. We will witness a boldness as structure begin to take shape, more so than we see currently. We will witness a boldness from those who will guide us to the land that is promised by Abba Yahuah. When we begin to see that the ring of fire is enlarging in environmental conditions throughout other parts of the world that causes massive evacuations, when we begin to see this growing with no end in sight, know then that the tribulation awaits. Know then that the tribulation is before us. When we see people chosen by the Spirit of Yahushua speaking words that are confirmed and followed with power from above, know then that these words are true. Expect movement, O Yasharal. Expect earthquakes, fires, drought, famine, disease to increase across the planet. Seek to discern the paths that we are directed by the Spirit of the Most High. Expect a pathway to safety to those who must and will fulfill what is written regarding the final exodus and more. Behold, O Yasharal, our redemption indeed draws near, nearer than one thinks. The time is now to pray, study, pray some more, seek to discern and obey. The time is now to discern the need to know, balance, and focus. Remember, everyone has a story to tell, but not all these stories are true. Remember, my brothers and sisters, time is a valuable thing. We can spend more time digging into the history, looking at the history, and pursuing the history. But I say to you, O Yasharal, which takes precedence? More time with history or discerning the living presence of the Most High Father and pressing forward? Which takes precedence? Yes, we should know our history, O Yasharal. So I'm not saying history is wrong, but there are many people caught up, looking back more so than looking forward. Who is able to discern? In Luke, where the Mashyach says, let me read Luke 9:61 and 62. Luke 9:61 and 62. It says, and another also said, Master, I shall follow you, but let me first say goodbye to those in my house. But Yahusha said to him, no one having put his hand to the plow and looking back is fit for the reign of the Almighty One. I say to you, my brothers and sisters, there will come a time, and I say that time is now, that we must understand where to put history, where to understand history, where we've come from, what has been prophesied, and we must discern how to walk balance, knowing what is necessary to fulfill what is ordered of us, and discerning what is expected of us going forward. There must be balance and focus, and there will be, O Yasharal. If I am indeed a servant led by the Spirit of Yahushua, I proclaim that Yashar'al will be delivered from the four corners of the earth. I proclaim that we will see that because of our stiff neck, in spite of our stiff neck, conditions will rise that will force us into obedience, that will bring us into obedience, those who are chosen to fulfill what is written. We will witness earthquake and fire and famine, and pestilence and disease. We will witness becoming extremely humbled to yield to what is true. We will witness the Spirit of Yahushua working in us one towards another. We will witness an emergence of the leaders chosen by the Most High to lead and direct our footsteps. We will witness the two individuals anointed, chosen by the Almighty Father Yahuah, begin to present the lead message to the world as an awakening, set apart nation begin to rise beyond what we see today. And we will see the witnesses, the two witnesses that I mentioned in Revelation 11 chapter, merge, and there will be emerge rather, and we will see elders working with the two witnesses as Yasharal is gathered together. Are you prepared to yield when the Spirit of Yahusha is speaking to you? Are we prepared to yield? Are we prepared to move? Are we prepared to act? Are we prepared to demonstrate the boldness of obedience as we discern what is indeed ordered of us by our Almighty Father Yahuah in Yahusha's name? Until next time, my brothers and sisters, be encouraged. We are the generation to witness end times like never before. We are the generation that will be used by the Most High to demonstrate the fulfillment of his promises. The days of types and shadows are waning. They are reducing. Soon and very soon we will witness actual evidence of what is expected and what is ahead of us. Are you ready, O Yasharal? Are you ready to demonstrate? Are we ready to demonstrate our love, to demonstrate and prove that we indeed seek to do the will of the Almighty Father, that we indeed accept that it was he who manifests his word in the person of Yahusha Mashyach, that we indeed know that it is the Spirit of Yahusha Mashyach, our sovereign, or some will say king, that will lead us and guide us going forward. There's much ahead. There's much work. Prepare to discern and obey, O Yasharal. For truly the Most High Father will prove with power what he is ordering. And we will witness in the coming days how he will remove all obstacles. He will give us the strength to purge or come away from the things that stand as obstacles against set apartness. Until next time, my brothers and sisters, I pray that we are growing in good health. I pray that we are growing in wisdom and discernment. I pray that we are able to discern and obey swiftly what the Father, our Almighty Father Yahuah, is saying to us in Yahusha's name. Until next time, my name is Symmanayah. Shalom. 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 You know, my brothers and sisters, I know you're probably saying, hey, I was glad he's done. He talked too long. Some people will feel that way. I want to say this too. It has begun where freedom of speech is being censored. Whether I agree or disagree with those that are being censored is irrelevant. What is relevant is that censorship has begun in the United States and across the planet. So I say to you, O Yasharal, if we find ourselves shut down, if we find ourselves where communications are cut through social media, trust and believe the Almighty Father will indeed be successful. Trust and believe, for out of discernment, we will come to understand what is expected and we will still come together. Nothing can stop what the Almighty Father has for us. So if we are indeed censored, if we are stripped from YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, or any other social media, trust and believe the plan of the Most High will be fulfilled. This was something I am led to present to an awakening nation. For these things are before us. But know this, Yasharal, it is the Almighty Father who hardens and softens hearts as to whether we are able to remain uncensored or whether we become censored and kicked out or rejected. Do not lose belief and trust in what is promised, O Yashar'al. Shalom. Shalom. Shalom.